What's going on, everybody? Welcome to CDC Thoughts, where I talk about stuff and things. Today I'm going to talk about the CDC Lies. For starters, shout out to my subscribers, shout out to anybody new coming across this channel. Comments and feedback are always welcome. If you enjoy what you hear, then make sure you hit the subscribe button at the end and the bell notification, that way you get updated on when I do make new uploads. Shout out to Jefferson Spatchcock for hopping on board. Shout out to Crimson 60620 for sharing my content in his stream also. I will share links to both of their pages. You can hop on board, check them out too, if the content is up your area, obviously. But the point of this is seeing comments in relation. I watched two videos on conservative takes on the CDC information about 6% of the COVID deaths being from strictly COVID. Like, no underlying issues were part of the part of that death. Only 6% of the total deaths were from COVID alone. When they comment on it, even like this kid that I'm going back and forth with on Facebook, the comments are as if the CDC was manipulating people and we shut down everything because of 6% of the actual death toll. So because this 6% who died from COVID alone, since it was only 6%, why would you shut down when something like the flu killed more people? But to me, the take that you're getting from it is off. Because to me, you're missing the point then. The whole point the entire time was, if you're healthy, you'll probably be okay. And if you have any of these underlying issues, you're more likely to not be okay or pass. So if the majority of our country fits the criteria that puts you in the category of somebody who has underlying issues, wouldn't the point be to try and save and preserve these people with the underlying issues? If 94% of the deaths were from patients with COVID along with underlying issues, what that means, from my understanding, and this is from asking somebody who works in an ER and dealt with COVID, would post all the time about COVID deaths. I'd heard, or you come out with they're fluffing the numbers, they're listing everybody as COVID. If you had another issue and you also had COVID and died, they're calling it COVID. So I asked, I'm like, is that what y'all are doing? Is that how you guys are doing it? If somebody comes in and got shot in the heart and has COVID, are you listing it as a COVID death? I asked if you're listing it as a COVID death, and she's like, no. She's like, if you have diabetes, you have friggin' high blood pressure, things like that, if you have these and then get COVID attacks your body differently, and you don't have necessarily the strength to fight it off in the same way. So it is because of COVID that your other issues that you were living with were heightened or strengthened or exacerbated, whatever it is. And that's why COVID led to your death. So yes, you have underlying health issues. That's the majority. And yes, that played a part in why COVID caused your death. But that doesn't mean that you died because of the other stuff and just had COVID. Because you had the other stuff and were living. So obviously it was COVID that did it, but it had a stronger effect on you because you had underlying issues. And this plays for the larger majority of our country. Article that I read that was making the same argument. Granted, I had this idea from the very first moment I heard the response. automatically in my head triggered, like, not how I think that they are actually meaning it and putting it out. So if you say that they were lying and we're doing this over this, you're missing the bigger point. But another article that I read, which I will link, talks about, I think, in Kentucky, where everybody there has an underlying issue, whether it's OB or the vast majority of everybody that lives there either is obese or has one of the other underlying issues. So there, everybody is at this heightened risk. Somebody like me, who is healthy, no underlying issues, I have a 94% chance of getting COVID and being fine. Somebody who has underlying issues has a 94% chance of it being possibly fatal. Or more, it's 94% chance that it'll be more detrimental or fatal. So that seems to be the point. Not that the CDC was fluffing numbers and covering it up and it's only 10%. Like, no, they didn't shut down the entire country and everything just because there were 10% of people diagnosed. No, this has a strong effect on people who have underlying issues or are elderly, like it did when it hit the nursing homes. So that's what it was done to protect, is the larger majority. So again, I get where the idea of they were lying comes from. But my wonder is, did you consider this perspective? Did you come at it from this angle to see it from that way? Or did you choose the angle that makes the CDC look bad because you don't trust the CDC? Did you choose the angle that makes people on the left look bad because the angle comes, or the ideas come from people on the left, or things about the CDC being correct come from the people on the left? Does that matter at all to you? Did that factor in at all? To me, if you look at the facts of the matter, 6% accounted for people who were healthy. It's still 10,000 people, I think it was, something like that. 10,000 people who were generally healthy and still passed. So that's not good. But no, that is not shut down the country worthy. However, the total number does make sense. Why? Because a lot of people have underlying issues. My thoughts. Am I off? Am I missing something? Am I putting something together that's not really there? Let me know. I'd love to hear it. Again, hop on board, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, because I'm not regular with this, so you want to be notified when I do post. Thank you. Have a good one. Peace.